outside the major city.
Yeah. All right, lady. Well, I'm gonna get started. And is it okay if I mute you for just so I
Oh yeah.
when I post it? So we're if okay. A lot of these postures are going to be very simple. We're going to lie on our back with our legs up the wall for the most part. If something is confusing, I will be in the same posture. So I'll try to do my best to show you what it looks like, but I think you'll be fine. So, all right. Welcome to Hardcore Yoga Fam, Yin at the Wall. Let's take a moment and just sit together. Choose a comfortable place to sit, a way to sit. I'm kneeling, that's comfortable for me. Bring your shoulders back, elongate your spine and lift your crown. And let's bring hands, palms together at the chest. Relax your elbows. Take a deep breath in and a nice exhale. Feel the weight of your body against the earth and the lightness and the brightness around. Let's open class with one round of Om. Join me if you would like to. Inhale to prepare. Om. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Ginanjala Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Honoring my teachers. Okay. To get to the wall, what I recommend, and if you don't have a wall, a doorway is just fine. So very easily bring one hip to the wall all the way. So my right hip is touching the wall. From there, just spin your body around. It's as simple as that. Coming into our home position, and think of it as Shavasana at the wall. Bring your heels close together, and with your hands, check the distance from where approximately your wrists are at your hip and your fingertips toward the wall. I have about one hand's palm with my finger extended distance from my hips to the wall. If you feel like your knees are hyperextendy, you might need to scooch a little bit closer. And if you feel like you have to hold your legs in place, like engaged, you might have to scoot a little bit further. So it's very individual and it will depend on the posture. But right now, this first opening position, which will be our home position, simply rest with your heels against your wall. Let's take arms to the sides, knuckles down, palm face up. Close your eyes if you're comfortable closing your eyes, and breathe in and out by your nose. Very simply breathing through the nose. This will be our breathing pattern. Feel your belly rise and fall. Throat relaxed. Jaw relaxed. Take the next few breaths and elongate the breaths. And by that, I mean add an extra beat or count to the duration of the breath. In your own mind, maybe even making a mental note, counting. Feel the weight of your knuckles against the floor, the heat, the temperature. Notice your hands and fingers. Perhaps your fingers have curled in slightly, and that's just fine. So this is a yin class. I will include some movement, just kind of more wiggling than grand movements, but yin, the practice itself, is a complement to the yang practices that we have mostly, where yang is characterized by being active and heating. Yin is the complement to that, so cooling and passive. Again, the breathing will just be nice and easy, steady. Maybe you might think of it as a 6 count inhale and exhale. And the idea to be as heavy and passive in the shape. So with that in mind, on your next inhale, stretch your arms over your head all the way. Press your heels gently into your wall. Open your fingers and stretch your right arm, then your left arm further away. So my knuckles are just barely grazing the wall. Sorry, the floor. Wrong foundation. And you can alternate right and left reaching. So as much as you reach your right arm, you can even press your right heel. And as much as you reach your left arm, add that, alternating right and left. Perhaps the movements turn into circling wrists and ankles pointing, flexing your feet. Alternate bending your knees, just like you would in that first down dog of the day. It has a similar flavor. What happens if you shift your shoulders a little bit side to side, or press down into the earth with your sacral spine and arch into somewhat of a little back bend? Take 3 more cycles of breath with this movement. Let it be free, intuitive. One more exhale. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, take your hands to your leg bones and slide your wrists toward your hips. Press your hands toward the wall so you're tractioning hip joint. So hands press against both legs. Draw your shoulders down, broaden your collarbones. And you can alternate here, pressing right and left. So as I said a moment ago, movement, technically not yin, but this is more yin to doing like Hanuman hops. So one of the cool things about this style of yoga is that yin is relative to yang. So think still water compared to simmering water. Simmering water would be yang, still would be yin. But then compare simmering water to a roiling, boiling water. So simmering would be yin compared to the boil. And you can continue this metaphor, steam compared to boil, you know, on and on. So it's all relative. Take one more moment here, pressing thighs toward the wall with your hands. And we'll do this again. This is our home position in this Shavasana. Relax your arms, knuckles to the floor, palms face up. And receive the work, receive what we just did. Feel, notice the sensations. Find your easy breathing pattern. And take one more breath in with an exhale, sigh out of your mouth. First posture, squat, bend your knees. Place your feet on the wall and open your feet wide. Walk your feet open to your first edge of resistance. Oh, it's easy to find that first edge of resistance, isn't it? So first off, hips and shoulders and spine flat to the floor, back of your head as well. Your feet, maybe they're not completely flat to the wall, but working in that direction. If your tailbone, your sacral spine has lifted off of the floor, it's as simple as just moving away from the wall an inch or two, right? So use your shoulders and the back of your head, your elbows to work yourself into a position where you can keep your head, shoulders, spine, hips on the floor and your feet fairly flat-ish. I'm going to say ish. We're going to be here for a few minutes. Take a few breaths and scan your body. This is a mindfulness practice. Scan your body. Identify where there is some residual tension, or can you relax an area? Like what's happening right across the collarbones and chest? Can you relax there? Can you soften your belly? What about your hip creases? Can you soften there? Take your forearms and slide them to the insides of your knees. Your arms will be a little engaged, but only enough that you can let the weight of your forearms, or maybe elbows, depending on the proportions of your body, and let the weight of your arms draw your knees a little bit more open. Relax your hands. And here too, collarbones, belly, hip creases. Feel the broadness across your shoulders. And try to send your breath wide across into right side, left side. As you breathe, feel your whole torso change shape. So you'll feel your back press into the earth. You'll feel your side body expand outward. You'll feel your rib cage rise, fall. Okay, now with forearms on the insides of the knees, start to add some movement. So I like a very easy shifting right, left. So press right forearm into right knee, left forearm into left, and kind of work it. So always working to range of motion to the edge and maybe a teeny bit beyond. We honor these edges. But you'll find that after 2 minutes, 3 minutes in a posture, your edge will change. So we're here 2.5 minutes into this wall squat. So you may even find that your feet can open toward the floor. Allow the hips to open. Little tractioning downward. Yes. A little pressure, even feet into the wall. Yes. So this is an exploration as much as a receiving. And for our last minute, release your arms over your head into a cactus position. So your elbows, maybe a 90-degree, upper arms, maybe a 90-degree from rib cage, depending on flexibility in the shoulder joint, in the elbows. My knuckles are touching the ground, most of them, maybe 2 on each side, but that too will change over the next short amount of time. Just receive this shape. Yin yoga is yielding to the forces of gravity, and thereby time spent in a posture yields depth in a posture. 4 minutes, if we were squatting on the floor, would be a lot different. And maybe we'll do that sometime. There is a long held squatting on the floor in yin. Start to deepen your breath. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, take your arms alongside your legs. Use your feet, your hands to walk your feet back to center. Take your hands to the top of your thigh bones and push your legs up the wall, straightening toward the wall. Before any desire to self-soothe overcomes you, just come straight into Shavasana at the wall. Heels up, arms at your sides, palms face up. Receive the work. In a more active hatha yoga class, you might only spend a breath or 2 post posture, if even, especially in a flow. So what does it feel like right now to come out of a posture and just be in a space where you can feel the echo? And of course, the mind wants to like, oh man, I need to wiggle, I need to shift and move. But what happens if you just let it be? Because just like that, it's changing and shifting anyway. And now you get to move. Flex your feet, press your heels into the wall. Let's press upper arms and elbows into the wall, lift your chest and extend your spine into a back bend. So it's fish-ish. Keep spine lifted and slide one heel up and then the other. So you're like kind of robotically moving your heels upwards and then shift right and left. One more to each side. Release your spine down, take hands, palms again to the thighs and press your thighs toward the wall. Press your hands toward the wall. Extend hip joint, spine. Now cup your hands, one each over its thigh, right thigh, left thigh, and slide your cupped hands toward the knee. Do this a few times. I'm alternating because that seems to make more sense for me. You can do both at the same time, also totally awesome. Give your muscles on your legs a flush. Squeeze your knees, squeeze around IT bands. Isn't this great? I can feel you. I know you're loving this. All right. Last sweep. It's like you're getting a free massage. Okay. Back to Shavasana for just a moment at the wall, heels up. And notice that. Notice the after effect. This is our integration time. And if there's anything the last few years has taught me, it is you got to integrate. Got to integrate. Our next posture will be a twist at the wall. And I'm going to give you a few options. I realize that we have space issues. So know that you can shift where you are on your mat once we get into the posture. Bend both of your knees, set your feet on the wall, knees together. We're going to go to the left first. So keep your feet against the wall and take your arms out to a T. Both feet against the wall, slide both legs over to the left side. So feet stay at the wall, knees bent, lower all the way. So your left hip, left thigh bone come to the floor. Take your left hand to the top of your right thigh, knee, and just rest it there. You don't have to keep your knees together or your feet together, just first land in this shape, and then I will add a couple options. Left hand resting gently on the right leg. Your right arm, you can extend it out even more, or even lift your right arm maybe like 45 degrees from the shoulder joint. So it's in a letter Y position, or you can even take your right arm all the way alongside your right ear. So it's more straight. Upper arm and shoulder might have lifted on the right side, but again, time. Depth comes from time held. So options. from here, you can keep both legs bent. From here, you can also extend both legs over to the left. So your heels stay against the wall, but creep away from you. If that feels pretty good and you want to see what happens, if you walk your left shoulder to the left, that might help get shoulders flat. So use your shoulders and the back of your head to walk your left shoulder more to the left. So here's next option. So either legs bent, feet on the wall, legs straight, heels on the wall, or option number 3, which is super duper option, is to take your top leg, the right leg, back. So you're in a split at the wall. And if you happen to look at me, it's not exactly a split. It's more like I'm leaping through the air, but my shoulders are still flat to the floor. Okay, so again, the options: knees bent, feet on the wall, or straight legs, heels-ish on the wall. You know, one foot might have slid away. It happens, right? Or top leg, which is my right leg, slides back. So the top of my right foot, my right shin, my right knee are touching the baseboard. And this is going to depend on how much space you have, one, and also your hip flexibility. It's brutal to be in this position, but you know, we're hardcore yogis, right? And intensity is something we're drawn towards. Yin yoga is intense. So pick your poison. You're on the clock for another couple of minutes. The posture should be something you can hold without too much fidgeting, too much gnashing of teeth. If you've chosen one of the other options, feel where your arms are, and maybe it's appropriate to change position of your arms. I have my left hand now on my belly, and I'm still stretching my right arm kind of like, I don't know, I'm gonna say like 20 degrees from my head. This is a twist. If you want to complete the twist by turning your head one way or the other, feel free to. I'm gonna keep my head in a neutral position. We're sub 2 minutes, so just stay with wherever you are. Receive the work, even here. Belly rises, belly falls. I loved in Wisdom of the Sages today all of the questions and answers, but particularly someone asked, you know, what do I tell somebody my spiritual practice is? And Raghunath's answer was very simply, I follow the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. What a powerful doorway. Oh. Okay, before you do anything, let me turn my timer off. It's so loud. Coming out of the posture. This is one of the beauties and Benefits of yin yoga. We must unwind out of the posture very systematically. If you are in the split, take your right hand to your right thigh. Start to just guide your right leg over to the left side. So both legs will finish on the left. You can keep your right leg bent. If you have both legs straight, bend both legs. If you have both legs bent, keep them bent. And we're gonna all meet on the left with both legs bent. So come to that position. Take a few breaths. Now take both hands to your knees. You'll be on your left side, roll completely onto your left side, and scoot your body back toward the wall. So your butt toward the wall. With both hands and your shoulders, use this concerted effort to roll back onto your back. Once you get on your back, you can take your hands to your thighs, square your body to your mat, push your hands into your thighs, and extend your legs up the wall, arms at your sides. Doesn't it just make you want to giggle? This is magic. Shavasana at the wall. Receive, take an inventory, but don't attach. Relax the muscles of your face, your throat. In your inventory, do you notice feeling a little lopsided, perhaps? This is, of course, a yoga practice. Yoga is about harmonizing and integrating. And we are asymmetrical in almost all things, unless you are in samadhi. So don't worry, we'll get the other side of this physical posture and also take some time integrating it. Start to swivel your hips side to side. Swivel your hips, add extension of the legs, alternate straightening, bending the legs. Use the wall, like press your heel into the wall, drive it into the wall and up. Reach your arms over your head, extend your spine, shoulder joints. Bring your legs together and press your heels into the wall so much that your hips, your low back come up off the wall. Feel the pressure of your body on your thoracic spine. Reach your arms out, like all of those things. Feel, notice, be in this. Get into the joints that have been resting in a passive way. Take one more cycle of breath. Lower your body back to the floor. And let's set up for the other side twist. So I'm going to go through those options again. It might be different on this side. It happens. It totally happens. Again, we have asymmetries. Bend your knees, feet against the wall. This is a really good place to start. Feet against the wall, soles touching. Take both legs, slide both legs, both feet on the wall over to the right. So we're moving to the right. Have your right arm ready to catch you as you bring your right hip to the floor, your right thigh bone to the floor. And you might notice right away that you can walk your right shoulder to the right. I just said the word right so many times. So right hip down, right thigh bone, right hand rest on your left knee. So this is option one. Super awesome option. Check in with any obvious areas of tension. What can you release? Throat, jaw, eyes. These are windows into what's happening in your mind. You know, if your eyes are scrunched up, see what you can do to soften and relax. If your throat is tight, what can you do to be more free there? And jaw muscles, you know, this is one of those places. And they're directly connected with what's happening in your mind. Okay, option number two. Hopefully you have some space, and I'm gonna scoot my body over to the left because I already know that I need some space to the right. Because I have this cute little flower arrangement that I could kick over very easily. All right, both legs, extend both legs over to the right. You can rest your right hand on your left thigh. And here to adjust what you need to. Like I feel like I'm kind of in a side bend, yeah? So I'm gonna take my right shoulder to the right. And your legs, I should have said this on the other side, but your legs, if you have them straight, they don't have to be locked out, right? Straight is also a relative term in this practice. Like we're not balancing. You know, when you're balancing, you need a firm, engaged, straight leg most of the time, unless we're doing squats in Warrior 3 like we did the other day in class. Oh, you missed that, my friend. Holding Warrior 3 and squatting over and over again. That was very exciting. So anyway, next option, option 3 in our twist is taking your top leg. So for me, that's my left leg, and taking it behind you, top of your foot against the wall. Slide your left leg open to the left. And again, it's a split, but it might not look like a split. I have a feeling yours looks way more like a split than mine. And wow. I always tell my students, like, the most sort of inflexible guy gets the most benefit. So I'm feeling lots of benefit in this posture. So this split-like position, shoulders still toward flat against the wall, the floor. I'm gonna do that over and over again. Just, I hope it's not too confusing. Mixing up wall and floor. Shoulders flat to the floor, and you know, left shoulder might be lifted a little bit. That's totally fine. If you'd like, you can walk your shoulders again more to the right. Use your elbow, right elbow, back of your head. Scooch your body over to the right. Spinal twist, hip twist, wherever you are. And that might be with both legs bent to the right, both legs straight to the right, or in this twist shape. And just a few more minutes. in this posture. Each side is different. I have a ton of asymmetrical activities in my life. You know, I'm a roller skater, and we roller skate one direction around the track. So what that does is it puts my right hip lifted up. My right leg is my crossover leg. So there's this lift and a twist at the right hip because of the crossover. Super bad for your body, your posture. Left leg becomes the weight-bearing leg. And I mean, I don't know. Yin. Yin has been some of the most magical elixir to help integrate and reestablish less asymmetry. I mean, there's still asymmetry. So that maybe you're a snowboarder, super asymmetrical, or a golfer, also asymmetrical. Maybe you drive a lot. Like I drove for years, commuted without cruise control. So you have to keep your feet in this weird position. So your right leg is kind of more, you know, your gas leg, you're sort of plantar flexing your right foot the whole time, or dorsiflexing. So when you break it down, when you look at the things that you do in your life, it's likely there's a lot of asymmetrical things. And so we have our yoga asana to balance it. Okay, I'm catching the timer before it actually makes sound. That was approximately 5 minutes each side, with the last 2.5 minutes or so in that split option. All right, y'all, remember to come out. The coming out of the posture is the time where you really need to be conscientious. So very carefully, both hands to your legs. Be gentle on the knees, the hips, everything as you come out. Use your left hand to start to bring your left leg over to the right. So we're gonna roll back. We're gonna roll onto our right side first. Bring your knees together. Pause here. Take a few breaths. Use your shoulders on the back of your head, your elbows to work yourself back to the wall. Wiggle your body toward the wall. Take both hands now to your legs-ish and roll onto your back. Roll onto your back. Square your body onto your mat. Bring your hands onto your knees, your thighs, and press your legs up the wall. Bring your arms to your sides and receive the work. So yin yoga stresses, the word stress can be a good thing. Yin postures stress the connective tissues, which include fascia, ligaments, tendons, bone. You don't think of bone that way, but all of these tissues need to be stressed in this very methodical, purposeful way, in a slow, yielding way. Think of muscle. Muscle acts very quickly, and you don't always feel, you know, the effects of muscles moving, okay? When you stress and stretch yin tissues, fascia, ligaments, tendons, bone, you feel it. You come out of a pose and it's like, what just happened? And this is the desired effect, you guys. This is the desired effect. So not so long ago, we came out of left side twist and you were invited to take an inventory. Same thing here, take an inventory notice. Notice what's happening. I'm gonna have a little sip of water. I had to jump up and jumping out of a yin posture can be very revealing as well. You know, again, case in point, these yin tissues are slowly returning back to sort of their original position, whatever that is. I mean, everything is always changing and moving, but you know, you're just like muscles are contracting, you know, the connective tissues have very, very small amount of this elasticity, very small, but then they kind of shrink back to what the state was before they were stressed, unless they are stressed very quickly. And when that happens, that's when you strain or sprain or break. All right, final set of postures. Take a breath, bring your hands to your thighs and press thighs toward the wall. This is like my favorite thing in the world. Extend your spine, move your shoulders, like up, down, forward, back, shimmy, slow motion, shimmy. Lift your rib cage, arch your spine. All right. So the next posture is a side bend. I'm going to give a couple leg options, but we'll start with just legs as they are. Because we're going to have legs up for a moment, if you find that the back of your knees are feeling hyperextendy, make your adjustment. So like I had to scooch closer to the wall again, just a little bit. All right. Bring your arms into that cactus position. And it doesn't have to be like full on goalpost because I'm actually going to add something, but you know, kind of like just easy, soft elbows at upper arms at like a 90-degree angle from your torso. Use the back of your head and your shoulders to come into a side bend on the right. So this will be a long held side bend with legs up the wall. So use the back of your head, your shoulders, and just inchworm your way over to the right to your edge. So first edge, hang there. Shoulders should be flat, pelvis flat. Now, option to the legs. Right ankle, let's first cross it over the left. Hang out there for a second. And for a little deeper, cross right thigh bone over left thigh bone, right foot slides down the wall. So if you looked at me right now, I am, my left leg is actually sliding to the right. My right thigh is over my left, my right leg is bent completely. So kind of like a eagle prep. Take your hands and interlace your fingers behind your head. Pull your fingers away from each other a little bit so you can rest your head flat on your fingers. Now, here comes the gnarly part. Good gnarly. Turn your head to the left. So your nose goes towards your left elbow, but the side of your head is in your fingers. Okay, so first off, if it hurts to bring your hands behind your head, you can come back to the cactus position. Those of you whose fingers are tingling, like mine, this is a consequence probably of tightness in the shoulder joints. And this is actually good medicine for that. So stay with it. Don't try to run out of the pose. I mean, if it's excruciating, there's a difference between excruciating and, purposeful. This too shall pass, but if it hurts, don't do it, okay? So nose toward the left elbow. Try to relax your neck, your shoulders, your belly. So it's a side bend with maybe a leg option. As I said, perhaps you keep your legs straight. Perhaps you have the simple cross, right ankle over left, or perhaps you're in this sort of, I'm going to call it eagle prep, but it's not exactly. Take a few more breaths here. Those of you who have your head turned to the left, we're 90 seconds or so in. Can you bring your head a little bit more to the right? So this deepens the twist at your neck. And then check in. Perhaps you have created some other weird tensions just from this very simple change to your neck. Like it's a protective thing, right? Your body may have started to twist or go with the turning of your head to the left. And by that, I mean, maybe your left hip kind of started spinning under without you even realizing it. Or it could be happening at your jaw. What are your jaw muscles doing? And for the next 90 seconds, surrender into this shape. And with that, sending a message of ease and peace throughout your own body, your being. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, verse 1 says a yogi is fearless, and then lists like 20 something other other characteristics. But it starts with being fearless. In that list is peaceful. And those two might sound or feel kind of contradictory, but once we develop equal vision for all beings, we are able to embody this fearlessness and peacefulness as we detach from the external stimuli, the things that might keep us feeling separate from or different or powerless over. Because y'all, there's a lot of things we're powerless over, right? Take a giant breath in, sigh it out. Okay, to deconstruct and come back out of this pose. First thing, use your fingers to turn your head back to center. So walk your fingers along the back of your skull to turn your head back to center. And let's slowly bring your arms, your elbows alongside your body to your legs. And just rest there for a second before anything else. Rest, receive. Now use your hands, if you need them, you might not, to shift your legs. Press maybe your feet into the wall to come back out, to uncross, shift your hips. Ooh, yeah. Best thing about a home practice, you can make all kinds of sounds and grunts and whatnot. Cuss words happen too, at least in my room. Okay, use your elbows and the back of your head to walk your upper body back to center. Square your body onto your mat and come back to our home position, Shavasana at the wall. Breathe. We have one more posture, to same posture to the other side. So I hope you have time. Sorry, I did say this would be about a 45-minute stretch, but we're long over that. I'm going to pull up chapter 16, verse 1 and read it. What a gift to have the Bhagavad Gita at my fingertips. Holy smokes. All right, let me get us into our final side here. Before we do, extend your legs. You can press your thighs into the wall with your hands. You can shift your shoulders, your hips. Roll your head side to side a couple of times. This neck work, what we just did, is really profound. And I will continue to include it in class. A method I have learned from a teacher in Boulder, which is on fire right now. Oh my God, just devastating. Kali Yuga. Okay, let's do it. Let's set it up. All right. Arms to cactus. Walk your upper body to the left. Go to your edge, just like we did on the other side. Oh no. Okay. I just got a text. Here we go. Hey, love. Okay. You good? Okay. We're going to move to the other side. I hope you didn't miss too much. Okay. I know you don't want to be lopsided after after that. Forgive my delay. When I got up, everything kind of went and it felt amazing. So I needed to stay with it. You know, there are material pleasures in the world. Okay, let's get our side bends. Bring your arms, your elbows to cactus-ish, cactus light, and walk your upper body over to the left. So you're side bending your spine, like you're turning your spine into a letter C. And for some of us, it might mean that the back of your head comes off your mat. That's okay. If that is uncomfortable, or you know, you have an ADD thing or whatnot, you can change your position on your mat. So your head, you know, if you scoot to the right, your head will probably still be on your mat when you walk to the left. But okay, that's just too much, isn't it? Adjust what you need to do. Cross left ankle over the right for option A, or B. I guess it's B. And if you want to go full on, cross left thigh bone over right. Hips, shoulders flat to the floor. Interlace your fingers and take them behind the back of your head. So again, I should have explained this before we did the other side. This interlacing position is not all the way to the webbing, but just fingers kind of woven together. I'm looking at my fingers right now, and I liken this to hot dogs in a package, tofu pups in a package. So take your hands in that position behind the back of your head. So you're just resting on your fingers. Elbows wide. Maybe even walk your left shoulder more to the left. Good stuff. Now, the gnarly part, gnarly in a good way. I swear, I swear. Turn your face, your nose to the right, and slide the back of your head to the left. So the side of your head is somewhat on your fingers. And this is our posture. Elbows wide. Your face, your nose turned towards the right. I'm combining a lot of different techniques in this shape. So we have wall, yin, legs up the wall. That's one. And then this other technique, which is almost like physical therapy, turning head to one side. So it helps. It's almost like going to a chiropractor or a physical therapist. So we're very slowly, very passively stretching the connective tissues of the shoulders and neck. And encouraging diaphragmatic breathing, because we've lifted arms over the head. And what I understand is the muscles, the secondary muscles of respiration are your pectoral minor which are related to fight or flight. So when you have your arms over your head, you can breathe more fully with the diaphragm because your pectoral minor aren't trying to help. And because we live in this state often of feeling under stress or threat, a lot of us use our secondary respiratory muscles more, which just keeps that loop, this feedback loop of stress. It keeps it going. So these are three very distinct but complementary things that we can do to calm the body. And we won't be here that much longer. If your fingers are tingling, stay with it. If they're not tingling, don't worry about it. I should say you're better off because it is, I mean, who knows? It's the shape of your collarbones, the shape of your upper arm bone with a little impingement on the nerves that run to the hands. This combined with the neck and all of the nerves, right? So any posture that we do, whether it is more physically demanding, not that this isn't, but when we have like weight bearing and balancing, stronger postures, we're still adjusting, we're still getting a benefit to the nerves. Yes, yes, yes. But here in a long held way, we get the true squeeze and soak. So the nerves that run from the spine outward, think of what's happening in the hands and the shoulders, but oh my God, it's your whole body. The muscles, the nerves that run from the spine into the torso are feeding all of your organs in your torso, your heart, your lungs, your digestive organs, all of the support organs, the liver, the kidneys, the muscles of excretion fed by the nerves lower down, the bladder, the colon, and then into the legs. So nothing is isolated. This is inside out, bones to skin, always. We're going to take 2 more full breaths. First, release your hands and bring your fingers behind your head. Walk your head into a more centered position. Relax your arms and just be here for a moment or two. Oh, here come the giggles again. The yin giggles. Take a giant breath in, and as you exhale, sigh it out. Take your elbows alongside your torso and use your elbows and the back of your head to walk your upper body back to center. Bring your hands to your legs and use your hands if you need to straighten your legs up the wall. And by straighten, again, this is all relative. And arms to your sides once you are in the home position. These are some long held postures. And to just take a few more minutes together with legs up the wall, I'd like to read chapter 16, verses 1 through 3 in the Bhagavad Gita. This is the chapter entitled The Divine and Demoniac Natures. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly people endowed with divine nature. Chapter 16, verses 1 through 3. Please roll to one side. Oh, the coming out of the postures, the coming out of. It is a simple joy. And in your way, make your way to a seated position. And I'm using the wall. I am sitting with my spine to the wall. Come into an upright position, and let's finish together. Again, with the Omkara, hands palms to heart center. Thank you so much for being here, for showing up. Take an inhale to prepare for Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. All right. Have a great rest of your day. I wish you all the best. And I just love that we're on this path together. I love it, I love it. I will post the video. Let me crawl to my computer. All the love. Ciao. Namaste.